Tired of analog recall hassles? This vintage unit just fixed that. In this video, we're diving into a legendary piece of audio history born in the 1950s. But what if I told you that vintage magic just got an upgrade and now seamlessly integrates into your DAW? BetterMaker has kept that lush analog path while adding digital recall, solving the biggest hassle with traditional analog gear. In this video, we'll hear how the Stereo Passive EQ works across multiple genres. This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. Let's go! The biggest hassle that any mix engineer, recording engineer, or producer who uses outboard gear has is recall. That basically means having to write down the settings that you use on any piece of gear, whether that's a compressor, whether that's an EQ, whether that's a saturator, a tape emulator, whatever it is, you need to figure out a way to retain those settings as you jump around sessions. Even if you recall those settings because it's analog, it's not going to sound 100% identical as the session the day before. And I come across that problem all the time. However, we love analog sound, so we keep on using it. BetterMaker has found a way to recreate that vintage classic sound upgraded with a digital recall. So the plugin that I'm going to show you on the screen is not a plugin that passes audio, but rather a plugin that allows you to do digital recall on the unit. I have the unit racked up and plugged up to my gear. I have some awesome mixes that I think you guys will appreciate, so let's dive in. This plugin right here is called the BMSPE, is the BetterMaker Stereo Passive Equalizer Control. This does not pass audio, but it allows you to store and recall settings on the analog hardware. What's cool too is that you can see the analyzer, you can play around with the analyzer settings, but for this demonstration, we're just going to keep it really simple. There's also up to 32 snapshots, so you can save that into its own internal memory bank. This is great for mastering sessions if you're using this one device for album work or album pieces. We're not going to do that in this video. We're just simply going to run stereo signal through this hardware and we're going to listen to what it sounds like. So let's go ahead and hide that. Just a quick overview of this Pultec style EQ is that you have low boost and low cut, and it simultaneously boosts and cut based upon this frequency, which is 20, 30, 60, or 100. And then you have the high boost curve with a high boost, and then the high cut set to these frequencies. All right, so let's check out all time low. Let's bring these guys in. I'll hit play. Everything is on reset, and let's check this out. Here we go. Cool, so I'll stop right there. And right away, what I can hear is that if you go past 1.0, you start to add a lot of weight to the mix. And it's pretty transparent in the sense of it's not like reshaping the low end. It's really just adding weight. It's like adding a lower octave, if you will, to the entire mix. And then that changes as you increase the low cut as well, which it creates a reciprocal curve. Now, what I heard right away when I switched to 100 Hertz, I was getting a little bit more of the low end of the snare. Whereas when I was in 60 and I did the low boost there, I was really affecting the kick and the bass. So listen to that as I flip between 60 and 100. All right, and then for now, I'll just go ahead and mute the vocals and let's play it from the top. Cool, we'll stop right there and let's go ahead and play around with the high boost. We'll leave the vocals off and just listen to what this does to the guitars and all the other instruments. You have a lot of frequency options here from 3K all the way to 28K. And then you have this high boost curve, which basically makes it like a narrow bell or a wide bell. All right, so let's go ahead and boost this up, sweep the frequencies, and adjust our cue. Here we go. I like that a lot. I like boosting around 6K. You start to hear the strumming of the acoustic guitar, which is very dense in there somewhere in the mix. I don't know what that's going to do to the vocals, but I'm not concerned about that right now. I am getting a volume boost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn down this gain and try to level match it as best as possible. And when I hit engage, it bypasses the hardware, which is great because now in Pro Tools, I don't have to deactivate this hardware insert, which sometimes can create pops and clicks. I can do it directly, control the hardware from this plugin, which is amazing. All right, let's check that out. Cool, so I like these settings. Let's go ahead and bring the vocals back in and hear what that sounds like in the context of the mix. Here we go. Cool. So that's what the Stereo Passive Equalizer sounds like on a punk rock material such as All Time Low. Let's switch gears and hear what this is going to sound like across an R&B production.
Different stories in my favorite. Many chapters, but the one with you's my favorite. Being with you was never complicated. You're the only one on.
Man, that is some clean topping. Check that out.
Different stories in my favorite. Many chapters, but the one with you's my favorite. Being with you was never complicated. You're the only one.
You get the breath, you get the air, you get the nice percussions, you get the transients, you get the hi-hat. It's all up there and it's clean. It doesn't sound dirty or fuzzy.
Different stories in my favorite. Many chapters, but the one with you's my favorite.
Cool, let's go ahead and mute the vocals and see what we can do to improve on the low end. Yeah, that low end is massive. Full disclosure, I'm using KSD, so I'm like feeling the low end and I have no sub in my studio, and that 30 hertz boost just feels so good, man. It's just a different mix, man. It really is. I mean, slapping this across an R&B mix just completely changes the game. So whether you're a producer or a mix engineer, I highly recommend something like this across your mix bus. All right, let's go forward and bring the vocals back in and see what that sounds like in context. Here we go.
Different stories in my favorite. Many chapters, but the one with you's my favorite. Being with you was never complicated. You're the only one I want. Oh, feeling inside me, I can't escape it. So happy that we're here and that we made it. You make me feel loved, appreciated. You're the only one I want. My heart is beating like ticky ticky ticky. My heart is beating only for you, baby. My heart is beating like ticky ticky ticky. My heart is beating.
All right, let's jump gears again, and now let's play a track by Young Kai. This is more of an indie pop track. Indie pop track. This is more of an indie pop track. Let's check it out. For that, I'm going to go to Snapshot 3, and I have a blank slate to work with, and let's hit play. Here we go. Yeah, that feels so good right there. Boosting 30 and then using a low cut. By the way, this high pass frequency is like so smooth. Watch, let me just play that for you guys. I'll sweep that. You guys will hear that right away. That just sounds so smooth. All right, let's go ahead and hear it before and after. So I'm going to engage and disengage. Here we go. That's very interesting. When I go to 16K, I'm above the vocal register and anything that would cause any kind of like harshness with such a large boost. And it's giving, I don't know, it's hard to describe. It's giving clarity without affecting those audible frequencies, 3K, 5K, 8K. Listen to that, watch. Cool, let me reset this. I'm curious to hear, let me go to this next snapshot. I'm curious to hear what this high cut sounds like. So let me go back to the top of the track. And it's already a dark mix already, but let's hear what this high cut sounds like. Here we go. That's interesting because if you boost a lot of 8K, but then use a high cut around 10K, you're reshaping the mid-range. And what that does is that reshapes the perception of the mix. And what I mean by that is instead of giving a presentation of, I don't know, something that would be like a smile, now it's giving more of a push on the high mids, and it changes like the front to back presentation of the voice, the guitar, the snare. Try to listen to that. As I engage and disengage, listen to the presentation front to back between, what did I say? Vocals, snare, and guitars. Check it out.
But
Yeah, the best way I can describe it is that we're creating tension in that upper mid-range. Now, again, whether that's a good thing or not, you have to go back to the creative intent of the artist and, you know, what's appropriate for the production and what mix is appropriate for that. But right now, because we're experimenting, it's interesting that you can create this tension. So what that does is that, like, if you're a mixer or producer, you can intentionally create tension in a mix by using these types of settings, boosting up a ton of 8K with a broad bell curve, and then using a high cut at 10K, and that creates tension. So think about that. Let's say that you're working on a track that has a dense electric guitars, maybe some strings, I don't know, some kind of like cinematic percussions, and you want to create a lot of tension in the mix. This is one way to achieve that. Now, I wouldn't have thought of using a Pultec style EQ to do that, but because I'm experimenting and I'm like discovering or tweaking it and bending sound using this thing, I'm able to come up with ideas. Now, what that does as a mixer is that saves like a memory slot in my mind. Next time I want to create that in a mix, I know what to do, you know? So that was a freebie for you guys, all right? Completely off the script, but something that I discovered even just now. And I want you guys to think about that. Think about, you store these like spectral images, these EQ curves in your mind based on what works and what doesn't work. And then you can pull that out at any time. I think that's an awesome skill to develop as a mix engineer. All right, let's go back to this and let's hear it one more time before and after. And I think if I did this right, I have Snapshot 1, which was the all-time low setting, Snapshot 2, which was the R&B, and Snapshot 3, which was the Young Kai. So what I'll do is I'll jump around my timeline. It might jump volume a little bit, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and hit play and let's hear what this sounds like from the top. All right, snapshot number 2.
Oh, feeling inside me, I can't escape it. So happy that we're here and that we made it. You made me feel loved, appreciated. You're the only one I want. Oh, my heart is beating like ticky, my heart is beating.
Awesome low end on that. And then snapshot number 3. Wow. All right, so there you have it. Vintage tone with modern convenience. If this is your first time watching, my name is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. I invite you to subscribe, like, and share this video. Also, leave me some feedback in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about this Pultec emulation with its digital recall. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you guys again real soon. Peace.